Hello and welcome to my class. My name is Maya Kuzman and I'm a crochet designer. In this class we are going to make the Penelope scarf. The Penelope scarf is very easy and uses basic crochet stitches. However, the end result is quite textured, especially if you use a self-striping yarn. Now, the usual practice is that when you make a scarf for yourself or for somebody else is to make the scarf as long as the person is tall. For this scarf, I've used about 200 grams of yarn, so please have that in mind if you decide to make an even longer or an oversized scarf. For the scarf, I also used picots, which are spread all over the long side and the short sides of the scarf, while it ends with fringes. This pattern can be used to make a size of any length. So if you decide to go with a shorter scarf, neck warmer or a cowl maybe, then I would suggest you skip making the picots at the short sides and just sew them together, but leave the fringes because they give it a nice touch. This is what it looks like when wrapped around. You can tuck it in to have more fringes showing like this. I hope you like this and you have fun making it. Let's begin.
The pattern for this scarf is quite simple and repetitive, so to give it a little pop and twist, I highly recommend using self-striping yarn. In that way, the color changes will come naturally. However, if you decide to make it in monochromatic yarn, the pattern works also fantastically for that. For the given sample, I've used sport cotton yarn and a 3mm hook. If we compare the two, you can see the difference between the weights of the yarn. So please bear in mind that if you want to make a bigger in width scarf, then you'll have to use worsted or maybe chunky yarn. If you want to make a summery or spring scarf, then consider using sport yarn or maybe even lace thread. For the Penelope scarf we are going to make, we need 200 grams of double knit yarn, then two sizes of hooks. I'll be using a 5mm one and a 4mm hook for the actual project, then tapestry needle, scissors, and a measuring tape. One crochet hack that should actually be a rule is that when you work the foundation chain for a crochet project, always use one size hook size bigger than the actual hook you're going to use for that project. In our case, hook number 5 or 5mm hook, which I'm going to immediately change into the first row in one hook size smaller, 4mm one. So for our scarf, chain 53. Change to hook and double crochet 1 into the 5th stitch, skip 4, 1 2 3 4, double crochet 1 into the 5th stitch, then chain 2, skip 4, double crochet 1 into that stitch, chain 2, double crochet 1 into the next stitch. So this is a kind of a variation of the V-stitch. Now we are going to chain 2, skip 4, and make a 3 double crochet cluster into the 5th stitch. Chain 2 and repeat the cluster pattern in the next stitch. 1 2 and 3 double crochet stitches for this cluster as well. Chain 2, skip 4, 1 2 3 4, and double crochet 1, chain 2, double crochet 1 again into the next stitch. This is the V again, and now we are going to repeat this pattern twice. Chain 2, skip 4, double crochet 1, chain 2, double crochet 1 again, chain 2, skip 4, double crochet 1, chain 2, and double crochet 1 again into the next stitch. Now here we have 3 V stitches with a cluster in between. Now we are going to repeat the cluster pattern. So chain 2, skip 4, and work the cluster in the next 2 stitches, 2 and 3, double crochet 3 into the next one, chain 2, skip 4, make another V stitch across the 2 next stitches, chain 4, chain 2, skip 4, and work the last V stitch into the last 2 stitches, and the first row is done. What follows next is the second row, which we are going to repeat until the end of the scarf. That is the actual pattern that we are going to use. 1 2 3 4 5. So chain 5, turn work, double crochet 1 into the first chain space, chain 2, then double crochet 1, chain 2, and double crochet 1 again into the third chain space. Actually, we're going to make the V stitches in the chain spaces of the V stitches below, and the clusters of this row in the chain space of the clusters below. We're going to follow this same pattern until the end of the row. Chain 2, 3 double crochet cluster in this chain space, chain 2, and another cluster here, chain 2. Now we are going to fill in the chain spaces with the V stitches, And when you come to the last V, double crochet one into the third stitch of the chain below. That would make up for a clean edge. And this pattern, the pattern of row 2, we are going to repeat this one to make the whole scarf. Here I'm done with the scarf. I've made 123 rows, and in length it's about 1 meter and 70, or that would be 67 inches. Leave with about 20 grams of yarn, which we are going to make to use to make the picots and the fringes. Now let's make some picots. Chain 4, turn work and slip stitch into the first stitch of that chain, and there's one picot, single crochet in the first chain space, chain 4 and slip stitch again in the first stitch of that chain, single crochet in the next chain space. Now we've got 2 picots. We are going to work this picot pattern this side here, and then we'll continue doing it on sideways. When you're done with the picot making, we've got the longest side left for the fringes. You can skip the picots if you want and just go straight to making the fringes if you like that look better. For the fringes, chain 12, this is a 12th chain, it's 8 for the hanging part and 4 for the 3D double crochet cluster we're going to make. So make a 3 double crochet cluster into the 4th stitch, counting from the hook down. 1 2 3 4. Now we are going to make a 3 double crochet cluster. Now we are going to make a chain of 4 again and do another 3 double crochet cluster. So this is going to be like a shell. Now we are going to close it like this, slip stitch here in the body of the chain and chain 8. Seven and 8. Now skip a chain space and single crochet into the next one. Here you'll make another of this chain and shell cluster. So chain 12, and into the 4th stitch, 1 2 3 4, make the cluster shell. 3 double crochets, 2, and the third one, chain another 4, repeat the same cluster, three, then close it by slip stitching into the body of the chain, chain 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, skip a chain space and single crochet into the next one. Repeat this fringe pattern to the end. Now when you come to the last one, just single crochet in the last one, in the last chain space, pull yarn, cut the thread, thread the tapestry needle and weave this end, and with that the scarf is done.